Hi there. I have been hearing a lot and frankly working with a few clients on some version of this question lately. And the question is this: I am now making less money, or I just took a lower paying job, or I am out of work, or I want to take on this project and not work for the next 6 months. What does that mean for my plan? And am I still going to be on track? Look, you are not alone. There's a lot of people in this position right now. First of all, take a deep breath. It really most likely is going to be just fine. And if you're already working with a financial planner, that person should be able to get into their software and input this change in your particular circumstances and just show you the impact. And then you can have a conversation about what needs to change, what you might do in the interim, what other decisions you might need to make as a result of just having less income coming into the family. My experience is that short-term job loss or lack of income for whatever reason is generally not fatal to anybody's long-term plan. Long-term loss of income, usually due to disability or death, things like that, that can have a pretty substantial impact. But just not being able to work or not wanting to work or having to take a lower paying job or wanting to take a lower paying job typically does not impact the long-term plan so dramatically that you need to lose sleep over it. This economy is definitely shifting. There is no doubt about it. Career paths are being reconsidered. Income plans and benefits are now being reconsidered. Compensation structures are starting to look different. The definition of success is really starting to change a little bit too. And so just taking a look at what any of those things means to you and what it looks like in terms of your financial plan is really the exercise at this point. Here's another piece that I think is really important. When we're talking about job loss and temporary income breaks, let's just call it that. This is a chapter in your life. It is unlikely to be permanent, and you just need to recalibrate at this point, whether that means a temporary recalibration or maybe perhaps a more permanent recalibration. So like, for instance, I've had clients just reconsider, okay, we're not going to do that remodel this year. We're going to do it 2 years from now. You know what? We're going to make this car work for another 5 years because we don't really need another car. And we were going to get a new car, but let's just take a pause on that for a moment. We were going to take this super fancy vacation in a couple years. We're going to reconsider what that's going to look like. Like, these are the things that can get adjusted in the short term or get done in the long term that are not going to be permanent in your life. You're not getting rid of these things. You're just putting a pause on them and delaying them. And that is not the end of the world. Here's the other thing is that sometimes these very moments are what cause us to recalibrate what's important to us and to restructure our priorities. Sometimes I think we get on an exercise like a hamster in a habit trail, and they start going around, and they get in what we would call the rat race at work. And that doesn't always serve us. And sometimes these little breaks give us a chance to realize how important it is to spend more time with our kids, or how less important getting that kitchen remodel done is to us. I think a lot of people start to reconsider, okay, am I just keeping up with the Joneses here and spending money that way? Am I really spending on money on what has heart and meaning for me? And I think sometimes these pauses in income give us a chance to really reflect on that and not just move forward automatically because that's what we've been doing for so long. And back to my point about, revisiting your plan with your financial planner. Look, I think that there is an opportunity here for you to, again, recalibrate, take a look at what's going on, reevaluate what's important to you, but then also just get the reassurance that everything's going to be okay. When you see it in your own numbers and you see it with your own decision making, oftentimes there's a moment of just relief. Okay, again, this is a chapter. It's not permanent. We're going to do this for right now, and then we're going to do something different when something different happens. And that's really okay. You don't have to do this alone, nor should you, perhaps. And in particular, if it's causing disagreements or strife or friction with your spouse or your other family members that you're living with, really, that's not worth it. I would absolutely encourage you to reach out to a financial planner, get some help, get some perspective. I often consider what I do for a living giving people doors and windows into their lives. It's just another way to open a door and take a peek in, open a window and look through it. It just gives people another filter for making decisions, and it gives them another perspective from which to look at their lives. And so that's what I would encourage you to get if you don't already have that relationship. And if you're looking for that relationship, I'd love to have a conversation. I wish you the best in what's going on with you and your temporary income decrease. And if you would like some additional help, please reach out. I'm Jessica Lanning. Lanning Does Planning.